meaning as well as mathematical construction of the idea of frequency is related to time, as well as Planck's constant. Changing these would change Schrödinger's equation, which would then change the many worlds interpretation of physics. Now, when researchers or actual people producing things write software to simulate matter, simulate semiconductor behavior, they start with Schrödinger's equation, yet they use an iterated version and then they modify the equation, whether they simplify it or create additional structures to it, I'm not quite sure. And then the iterated version is hundreds or perhaps thousands of times more rapidly figured out. Now, an iterated thing has to do with the notion of whether the equation can describe something instantly or with repeated application, sort of like a grouping up together a non-finite series or something like that. You can do a thing like that with an eigenvalue. Thus, if you look at an iterated equation as the kind of thing which could be a time eigenvalue, then you actually are effectively doing what physicists want, which is creating an equation that more effectively predicts the behavior of matter at the universe, more effectively predicts the behavior of energy at the universe, as observed. So, creating a version of Schrödinger's equation that uses a time eigenvalue changes Schrödinger's equation noticeably. One of the things that happens is that because Planck's constant is very meaningful to Schrödinger's equation, E equals hv changes radically with the notion of velocity, time, frequency, and wavelength being represented with time, the time portion of something like velocity, distance times time, as an eigenvalue. So that supports modifications to Schrödinger's equation based on this thing that physicists care about, which is does it predict the behavior of matter and energy better than a previous equation? Now there's another thing as well. Refractive indexes have to do with the speed of light through matter. Now, the things like E equals mc squared are based on energy equals mass times the speed of light times the speed of light, are based on the speed of light at a vacuum. Yet, the speed of light through groupings of matter can be calculated with physics equations. Thus, the notion that, say, one or two or three atoms together sort of unspool or unravel or are dividable at a kind of geometric sequence is like the specification of a sequence at a matrix, which would be the kind of thing you'd associate with an eigenvalue. So when you look at the passage of light through matter and the change of its velocity, you can actually use the geometric arrangement of the atoms to describe part of the time matrix eigenvalue that determines how fast the light actually goes. So we can see then that there's this opportunity to use time eigenvalues to actively predict, as well as accurately predict, refractive index. So with eigenvalue time, modifying Planck's constant, because the notion of frequency is modified, we modify Schrodinger's equation, which also modifies the many worlds interpretation of physics.